What is going on, Nitro Gang? Happy Friday to you all. I'm glad you guys are able to join. Whether you join right away, whether you wait a little while because you're out there standing next to the microwave making popcorn. Either way, ordering a pizza pie, making some flapjacks and toast, it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is this sickening nitro in the box. So let me give you all a couple minutes here to show up. And we are going to start another sickening nitro adventure. And I know you're looking at that sickening body clip and you're wondering, well, what brand body clip is that? And I will tell you, some of you might know, it has to do with being blue. We got John Hensley here in the stream. Rusty RC Nitros, Big Boys Toys. Happy to see you all here so far. I'm going to wait a little while. So let me give you a little rundown of what is going on. As you guys could tell, we got a Nitro in a box. It looks okay, but I know you want to see more because unlike an electric, when you take off the body shell, it's all boring. It's repetitive. It's like brushing your teeth. You pretty much know what happens when you brush your teeth. Gas 155, happy Friday to you, man. You know, when you brush your teeth, it's repetitive. Your mouth gets minty. You put some water in it. You swirl it around a couple times. You spit the water out. It's pretty straightforward. But when you have a nitro with a body, and a sickening body clip from Team Associated like this, you just don't know what you will find. And guys, as I said in the title here just now, it's got one interesting issue, though. Make sure you don't forget to read the title correctly. You gotta say the though. We got ourselves Michael Sucha. What's up, bro? Only RC Nitros is here. My buddy Just Joe giving me some good advice over the week. I spent a ton of money on an inversion table. Yes, I still feel terrible. I was just hanging upside down for about 10 minutes before this stream. So based on when the back pain comes back to its most severity, you will know the tone in my voice will be changed. Just like Iron Man. All right. But for real, we got ourselves an HPI. The question I have for you is, which model is this? Now, looking at it from this perspective, it's not very obvious. But soon it will be a little more obvious. We got RC Cape Cod. How are you doing, man? RC Cape Cod, bro, your username reminds me of those chips, the Cape Cod chips. They're very, very nice. You know, very, very nice. The kettle cooked Cape Cod chips. You know what I'm talking about? They're delicious. I wish I had some now, but I don't really have much of an appetite. I've been taking a shit ton of pills this entire week due to my issue with the back pain. I lost about 10 pounds already. But Friday Night Nitro will never die. We got ourselves Northeast Mods. How you doing, man? Once again, congratulations, Woogie Nitro. Happy to see you here, man. He goes, nice Porsche. And that's right. You know, there's been a long-term debate on how you pronounce Porsche, or is it Porsche? Now, I think Jerry Seinfeld, who's an aficionado of very, very young women to the level of it being unethical, in my opinion, and kind of predatory. He is also a fan of Porsche. And I'm quite sure I heard him say Porsche. But can't trust a person like him. You just can't do it. The guy outlived his awesomeness in the 1990s. All right? That's how it is, my dude. That's how it is. We got ourselves Boosted RC. Happy to see you here, bro. Jim Palazzalo is here with us again. Beam NSLW goes, what is that body clip? Good question, man. So this in particular is the Team Associated body clip. They were first popularized not by the comedian Jerry Seinfeld, but by Team Associated for their TC3 series. Now here It fits. This is a slightly larger car. Oh, did I just give you a hint of what this is? I think I might have given you guys a hint of what this is. But if you just showed up, please, can you hit the thumbs up, okay? We lost a great one this past week. His name was Hulk, last name Hogan. Really, his first name was Terry, last name Funk. I'm kidding, it wasn't Funk. It's Bolea, okay? Bolea. Anyway, reading too many Instagram shorts will rot your brain. Let me tell you right now, it will rot your brain. You cannot even tell what is real or fake anymore. By the way, I also have a magazine, the newest RC car action I might take a look at. Can't really go down the stairs that fast or well right now, because I got some severe back pain, my dudes. Spent about $1,000 overall on fake treatments, inversion tables, co-pays, and not doing too good. But the job has to get done. So let me wait a little while longer. I will take this out. The question is, guys, do you think the current RC Car Action magazine has any nitros in it? Is that a yes or is that a no? Ben, how you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. Happy to see you here. Yo, Melissa, can you please get me that RC magazine on the couch? I can't really walk down the stairs. Please. I'd appreciate that. Please. I think she's listening to music. She don't hear me. Anyway, I'm going to unbody this in a little bit. We got Rocky Mountain Bashers. How you doing? I was just watching some of my awesome subscribers' videos today. A couple I want to point out. Nitro Pimp released a sickening HPI Nitro 3 Series video and Raw RC as well, where he really tore up a T-Max real hardcore on some awesome jumps. Honestly, Raw RC's T-Max is one of the best running ones I've ever seen. We got Geo Mac. Happy to see you here. And I guess let me wait a couple minutes more. We'll get a certain amount of viewers over here, and I will tear into this. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I think we're going to have to be pulling the engine on this one today, depending how it goes. Oh, you don't actually even know what model this is yet, do you? Because it's wrapped. It's wrapped. Let me take off this a little bit. Can we get a hell yeah for removing one of these so far? Or is that a hell no? Which one is it? All right, I think we got a couple hell yes in here. You know what? I'm not going to wait for the view numbers to go up. I'm not that kind of guy. Joseph, what's going on? If the viewers are here, I am here. We don't need no one else. We got each other, brothers. Kemi, how you doing? Geo Mac. Tarek, how you doing? All right, let's box it, so to say. The question is, I haven't really said yet, and some people might know, but I'm sure some people won't know as well, because it's hard to tell based on the scale that we're looking at the car right now. I just want to say this particular one has never been shown on the channel before. This is 100% completely new for our viewership pleasure. All right, so luckily Melissa brought me the new RC Car Action magazine. If you guys want to take a look, this is a real Nitro right here. This is a pink magazine, okay? I gotta say, they really outdid themselves with pinks lately. It's extra pink. I mean, I would say probably every other issue has become pink these days. Now, I got nothing against colors. You know, after all, colors are really just a wave of the spectrum, a wavelength of the spectrum of wavelengths, right? So really, some people are even colorblind. You wouldn't even see the pinkness. But if you guys want, we could take a look at this new magazine towards the end. Possibly. Depending how I'm feeling. Nitro Pimp, how you doing, man? I just said to everybody, I had the pleasure of watching 2 sickening videos today. for my subscribers, and one was yours, Nitro Pimp, and people should go check it out because if they want to see what a RS43 looked like, brand new from a box, that's where they're gonna see it. The other one was from Raw RC with a sickening T-Max. All right, let's take it out, huh? So, anybody take any guesses which model this is yet? There's basically only two options of what this is. There's not that many options. How many options we got? We got two options, my dudes. Who wants to take a guess? It's either an RS4-2, one of the models, or a Super Nitro. It's one or the other. Which one is it going to be? You could tell we have the 15 FE engine right there. Tarek, I wish it was a Kyosho, but we're Kyosho free today. If you want Kyosho, there it is. Right there for you. Right there, that sickening drifty one with the tires I cannot replace. RPM Nitro, how you doing, my dude? John Hensley wants to know, is it a 1-speed? Well, man, I am happy to say it's a 2-speed, baby. I'll remove it in a little bit. We'll take a look. You know, I'm trying not to move around too much because I have some real bad back pain. It's basically close to unbearable. You know, I don't want to talk about crying over here, but, you know, like when you have a Nitro runaway, it's similar to that. Angel, you are correct, my bro. I was just watching this Instagram short, guys. I guess some guy in the New York City subway was like getting real agitated. Oh man, one weird problem. Do you guys kind of begin to see maybe where the problem lies? I'm just curious before I remove the body. You know, I like to do a little bit of a interesting overview. I don't like to take the body off. It's fun. It's fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same for me. So, Northeast Mod goes wrong body. That could be it. But I don't think that's the case with this one. What I am looking at is the gaping hole in this particular spot. Nitro Pimp, that's a good observation. I'm glad you brought that up. So, Nitro Pimp says, is it at 280 or 300 millimeters? So we will discuss this in a little bit, but that in fact is the issue here. For those of you that might not have known, the Super Nitro chassis could be set up to run a shorter or a longer wheelbase, 280 or 300 millimeters. So you have about 20 millimeters, which is a little bit less than an inch. It's about a little more than 3/4 of an inch. I think that's the situation, bro. Let me turn it around and we'll take a look at the other side. Maybe we'll get a couple hints. All right, so on this side, it looks quite all right, doesn't it? Well, that leads me to believe we have some incorrect setup going on. Because this side wheel well seems to be normal. But I will also mention these wheels are not HPI. These are Proline, and they do seem larger than these normally should have been. So the regular Super Nitro wheels would have been smaller as well and narrower. What do you say, guys? Is it time to unbody it? That's right, Boosted RC. There's going to be some incorrect setup you're going to see. So get ready, bro. Get ready. Melissa, thank you for being a member for 36 months. I appreciate it. Don't go and cancel your membership. We have a fight, okay? Just saying. Don't do it. You know, we'll make up. We'll make up. Just saying. All right. Let's Monty Kriska, how you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. All right, let's take a look at the chassis itself. RPM Nitro, thank you for being a member for 11 months. You and I never had a fight, so I don't expect you to quit anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Just making a comment over here. Just making a comment. But I appreciate it, man. Gotta move around a bit a little, guys. I got some real bad back pain, as you might be aware. I'm taking a concoction of many pills right now. We're talking many pills. It's many pills. But, you know, this is what I do. All right, bros, are we ready to take a look under the body? By the way, I posted some links for A-Main. There is, I guess, what they call a sale on the Arma Fire Team. It's an over 22% sale. So it's a pretty large sale. I actually had the chance to drive an Arma Fire Team before I hurt my back. Maybe that's what threw it out. I don't know. And I gotta say, the Fire Team was not bad. So if you want to get one for, like, low 500s, there's a link I put in. You can go get it. All right, let's get to taking a look. John Hensley, bro, thank you for that. I appreciate it, man. All of the Nitro money that gets donated, as you guys might know, I don't think I have to say it, it gets put back directly into the channel. 100% channel return rate. So I appreciate that. By the way, these are sickening body clips. Also sickening, it just flew out. Okay, let me get it. We're going to take a look at the engine. So for those of you that want to take a look at it, this is old style team associated body clip. Generally found on the factory team TC3s. These were epic, baby. Epic. Some of the best body clips ever. Also close to impossible to bend. So thank you for that channel donation from John Hensley. All right, guys. Are we going to do a on-bodying? Let's do an on-bodying. What do you think you're going to see? You guys want to take a couple guesses? You think anybody saw the pipe in this? I'm just curious. Did we see the pipe? Oh, you saw the pipe just now. Oh, I showed you too soon. What's up there, All Aspects, man? How you doing? Northeast Mods is correct. We got the CVEC. Let me just answer. All Aspects wants to know how I'm doing, bro. I'm still pretty bad, real bad. I'm on a concoction of about 4 different medications. We'll just hang upside down on an inversion table. It's real bad. Went to a doctor. The guy told me come back in like 3 weeks for a reevaluation. Can't get an MRI, even though I have like the world's best medical insurance. It's real sickening living in this Democrat state, you know? All right. Let's get to it, baby. Let's, as they say, chop it up. Who here says chop it up, guys? I was watching Gordon Ramsay the other day. And I guess, he went to a restaurant. They served him some garbage ravioli. And the chef was like, he chopped it up. Let's chop it up with the nitro instead. Gordon Ramsay is not here tonight. All right. So, going over this car. There is some good, and I would say some not good. But you all want to know, how's the engine, right? Go ahead. Ask me, how is the engine? I'll respond in a little bit. But what I see so far, we got ourselves a 2-speed baby. The gears look serviceable. Not garbage, but serviceable. With a little bit of cleanup, these gears will run. So the Super Nitros did come with a side belt tensioner. This one seems to be missing, but it's no big deal. We still have the brace. Honestly, you really don't need the side belt tensioner. This thing never breaks. Matt Stevens, how you doing? Go sickening. Do you notice anything odd about the clutch bell setup? I'm just curious. Look at the clutch bell real close, bros. The clutch bell. Let me spin it around a little more. So I do notice some interesting things on this model, but take a look at that clutch bell. I'm going to give you a real close-up view right now. That is for sure, I think, not the original clutch belt. That's why our gears are a little bit torn up. The pitch of the gears to me seems different. Am I wrong on that? I'm not totally sure. I gotta disassemble it, take a look. I might have a 2-speed clutch belt. That does not appear to be the correct pitch. Yeah, Nitro Pimp is correct. Definitely there. That clutch belt is not HPI. It does seem that we have good gear mesh. And, in terms of gearing, it seems okay. So we'll have to see. I'm going to have to take it off and really go hard on this. Texas Hill, man. What's up, brother? Happy to see you here. We do have a CVEC Power Systems pipe. Let me turn it around. So these pipes are very, very rare because they are tunable. You could see on the inside there's a cone inside. You could adjust it. Essentially, that's how it works. So we have a 15 FE engine, which is the factory engine for this chassis. Give me a second there. I'm going to turn this off. Okay. Along with the correct branded coupler. So CVEC pipes came with a new exhaust coupler, although you really didn't need it. It's basically the same thing. But it's nice to see the CVEC logo on the coupler as well. Pipe is a little loose, so I have to do some work on getting it situated. Fuel tank seems to be okay. It's clean. It looks like somebody has screwed the fuel tank in so much that the mounting tabs are about to disintegrate. Don't do that. Bad idea. In fact, I like to leave the fuel tank a little bit loose. John Hensley, no, that body would not fit because this is a longer chassis. Now, the main issue, and this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Actually, no, before I talk about the main issue, I want to point out another cool mod this thing has that I really haven't seen on other models. Look at the brake hub. I don't think I've ever seen a brake hub with a metal disc like that. It does appear to be a factory HPI part. I'm going to do a little zoomaroo for you all because, I do like to think I am the king of good quality. I am not sure what disc brake setup that is or hub. That is obviously not factory. It's some kind of aftermarket. Maybe it's HPI. It's possible. It's possible. I notice a little bit of melting over here. Anybody want to tell me where they think that's from? I already know where it's from. Where is that melting from, everybody? I'm sure most of you know. All right, so we're going to get down to chopping it up, as they say on Gordon Ramsay. All right, John Hurley, what's up, bro? Yes, it's from the old can muffler. So normally these cars would have had an integrated muffler that just exits out the rear. That's why there's a hole in the shock tower right there. But this one has been upgraded to a side exhaust tuned pipe. Now the problem I notice, and I'm going to zoom out for this. Take a look at the wheelbase. Anybody notice an issue with the wheelbase and the shocks? It's crooked. That is why we had such a giant wheel gap on the body. So my understanding is, as we know, they come in either 280 or 300 millimeters. But based on how you flip your rear turnbuckles, yeah, Nitro Pimp is correct. He mentioned it earlier. He was, in fact, the first one to mention it. That is true. But now we're looking at it right now, so I'm basically repeating myself, I think if we go to the 280 millimeter, we will hit the header. So I pretty much have no choice. I have to put the other tire back. You guys understand what I'm saying? I basically have two options here. I either put this tire forward or get smaller tires or remove this header because it's too close to the header already. Make sense what I'm saying? Let me show you a part I found. Well, the original HPI manual. Yeah, Texas still goes, I would run the longer wheelbase. So I think that's what we're going to wind up doing right now before I do anything. I'm just going to convert it back. I want to show you guys also the way the wheelbase is set up when you have shorter and longer wheelbase. If you look at the rear end, there are no extra parts here. Yeah, John Hensley sees what I'm saying exactly. So on the 300 millimeter, the shock is in the back. On the 280, the shock mounts to the front of the shock tower. So it's actually completely different. Well, the body is totally messed up. So, you know, I can make the body work. It won't be perfect. It'll be 60% okay. But before we continue, I want to show you guys part of the manual here. Just so we see what we're talking about. Okay. All right, so this is the regular Super Nitro manual. I'm going to scroll through it a little bit here. You guys having a good time over here? All right, that's good. Regular HPI Super Nitro manual, right? As I said, this would have been the regular can muffler. Oh, got my finger dirty. And these tires are smaller diameter and width than the ones I actually have on this. So I'm basically stuck with a set of tires I have. All right, so let me scroll through this and we'll take a look at the wheelbase issues. It really isn't an issue, it's just an observation, really. Something to be aware of. Because, you know, getting bodies to fit these cars is not a piece of cake. All right, so that's just the beginning. Okay, so here we go. On this page, you could see a reference to WB300, Wheelbase 300, and Wheelbase 280. All they're really doing is they're flipping the arms around, right? The bottom suspension arm and the top suspension arm, which is your turnbuckle, basically. That's how you get your 280. It's basically just flipped around. There's really nothing else, and the shock tower goes in a different spot. So it says no direction of arms. RC Adventures, man, how you doing? I mean, you know, all is not well, but all is as well as can be, right? Next up, well, whatever, this is just assembly. You know, these are single speed models originally. But here again, they make a note of the wheelbase, Wheelbase 300 and Wheelbase 280. Because obviously you would have to flip some other parts, the shocks basically. The shocks would be reversed. You guys get it? All right, it's great. All right, let's get back to the chassis. So, first thing, I think it's appropriate for us to, I'm thinking, put this wheel back more. What do you guys think? Should I work on that now or should I pull the engine? So the engine is seized. I cannot pull it. It's toast. It's going to have to be totally disassembled and cleaned at this point. Right? Makes sense? All right. I do want to run this one when I'm rehabilitated, right? Maybe after another $1,000 of fake acupuncture. I'll be honest with you. It did nothing. I think it hurt me. I think. But, you know, we'll talk about that maybe in the future later on. So let me see what you guys say. You want me to pull the engine or to convert it back to the correct wheelbase for both wheels? Because right now one is in the back, that one is in the front. As it's pretty much evident. So Nitro Pimp, it cannot make the noise. The engine is completely seized. It cannot, like, there's no chance of pulling this over. It's zero probability of that. It's you know, if you made an equation, it would be in the negative infinity. You know, the cosine wave will be negative. All right, looks like people want me to just pull the engine. Oh, we got a bunch of engineers here. All right, I guess I could do that. Let's Let's do the pull. Yeah, later on, I'll clean up these gears a little bit, just smooth them out. Because that incorrect gear pitch has basically ground down those gears a little bit. Not good, not good. All right. I hope these come out. Let me get ready, and I'm going to see what I can do. Nitro Racing Power, what's up, bro? He goes, you could heat the engine up. That is true. I'll be honest with you, man. With these older engines, it's better to just take it apart to a normal degree and reseal it. Oftentimes, like, you know, even the one-way bearing will be toast. Like, all that has to be cleaned. You could get it to run a little bit, maybe, with, you know, quickly with heat. Yeah, it's possible. But for me, it depends. I like to go the extra mile. Now, I was thinking of another engine, and that's something I'm going to look into. But the problem is, you need the optional engine mounts, which I don't have. Not doing too much because there's a lot of plastics here. I don't want to get close to melting plastics, anything like that. So I'm kind of heating up the chassis, so it's going over anyway. So let's see what goes down, guys. Anyways, if you're liking the stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up and give me a hell yeah, my dudes. I appreciate that. All right, we got this screw. Okay, got this screw. Got this screw. My heat seems to have helped us. Got that screw. All right, now I could use John Helsey. Thank you, bro. He goes, channel donation. Keep up the great work restoring these old gems of joy. I totally agree. And you know, in my opinion, the Super Nitros are really my favorite class. Because they're very, very drivable. That's what it is. You know, you can't kill a 10 scale, but the Super Nitro is like the luxury of 10 scales, in my opinion. It's like the kettle chips of the chip world. All right, Dad and Mads, how you doing? He goes, how's your back, mate? Well, bro, you know, it's not worse. It's maybe like, you know, 5 to 10% better. You know, I had to really pull myself together here tonight to bring you the stream. As you noticed, last week there were not even any videos out, and I'm home. I'm not really going anywhere, like, at all. Bought an inversion table, been hanging upside down on it. I think that actually seems to help with high blood pressure, believe it or not. I've checked my blood pressure before and after the inversion table. It's actually gone down. It's sickening. Joey Ace RC, man, how you doing? Happy to see you here. Engine is coming out nicely. So I'm probably going to clean this overnight if I can. Maybe not. It depends how, you know, my ability to stand. I can't stand that much. In fact, you know, it's pretty hard. I must have some kind of pinched nerve near a pretty crucial part of the spine is what it is. Just a freak issue, you know, freak accident, freak issue. You go outside, you touch an electric, and you almost kill yourself, you know? I would like to say I'm joking, but I'm not. I just got a notification for Vegan Gains. That guy still does live streams. Sickening. All right. I'm going to pull the engine. I got to do a couple of disassembly steps over here first. So if you notice, this one also has the wrong throttle linkage. But you could rig up a linkage. It'll still work with a rotary carb. I mean, it's not ideal. I'll be honest with you. It's not good. Your brakes are never going to be perfect without the correct linkage. But it's what it is. What it is. But like I said, these models are, yeah, I'm gonna. They're my favorite. That is odd. What happened over here? I'm gonna have to pull this brake cam. I don't know if I have the right driver for it right now. I can't pull the brake cam. I can't go downstairs. I'm gonna have to leave this because I'm trying not to walk a lot, guys. I got real bad back pain. Okay, it's pretty much a medical injury. So I tried to go get an MRI, but I don't qualify for an MRI yet. So they told me I got to do a whole course of medication, which is basically a month and a half. And you know, then they'll probably schedule me for an MRI. But it's pretty devastating. By the way, I noticed earlier a viewer mentioned, look at that small air filter. And yes, these were common sizes for air filters back then. This was, you know, back when I had a Nitro, this was the size. It's how they were. Okay, the problem is I need to remove this too. Okay, remove the linkage. I should be able to remove the engine now. Yeah, that's it. Engine is out. Move the exhaust. That's it, bros. Holding the engine in our hands. The venerable, slightly reliable, or unreliable, depending on which side of the tracks you're on, 15 FE engine. Isn't Fe a mineral? Let me look it up right now, actually. Fe is iron. What mineral is Fe? Yeah, Fe is iron. Exactly. I knew it was some kind of it was on the periodic table of elements. But I forgot which one, bro. I'm sorry. It took chemistry over 15 years ago, you know? All right, so this is what we got. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Give me a second. And we'll take a look at the engine. I basically have to tear the engine down. So there's nothing else you can do with this at that point. All right, bros, appreciate you for being here. You know, the streams, it looks like not too much participation in the past couple months. You know, I'm not here to be negative or nothing like that, but, you know, if that's the case, I probably should look and understand the trends. I'm going to move this. All right, so yeah, this is the original carb. Got to be real careful with this throttle arm. This needs a good cleaning. Angel goes CVAC. Yes, bro, CVAC pipe. They're pretty good. Now, if you guys are thinking, what about another engine, right? Because we could take a vote right now if you want. Who thinks this engine is toast? It's Rickety Rackman. How are you? Happy to see you here. Same with Grizzly RC. Happy Friday to you. Hybrid over here is in a good amount of pain, but I took, you know, a couple muscle relaxers that were prescribed to me legally. And I'm coping, bro. I'm coping. You know what? I think I was actually wrong. This does appear to be an HPI clutch bell. Doesn't the HPI stamp their clutch bells like that? The old school ones, 12 to 15. I gotta check what the gear ratio would have been. Geomag goes pick up a G3.0 while you can. You mean T3.0. The G is the slide carb one. I think you mean the T. The T is the one with the integrated engine mount like this. So the problem is, I do have an SH18. That was actually my plan for this if this engine is toast up. But the main problem is you need the HPI small block engine mounts. Yeah, that's right, Geomac. Correct. Can't fool hybrid over here, bro. Can't fool me. Fool me once, as George Bush said, you can't fool me twice. You can't do it. Although he said it worse. But let me show everybody here basically the parts you would need before I continue, all right? The parts you would need for installing pretty much any SH18. Yeah, Angel, you are correct, bro. So I did a web search already on eBay, right? Just so we all know. Let me show you right here, guys. I'll do a little zoomaroo. So here's just the basic part search for HPI. These are the part numbers you need. The A863. These are the small block pull start engine mounts. You could use them for any RS4 Super Nitro. Without these, you don't have any gear mesh adjustment. Believe it or not, they're freaking expensive now, right? Like, look, I'm doing a search for all of these parts, and well, these are like some random RS4 stuff, but I don't need that part. But basically, this is what you need, just for that alone, right? So these are in essence they call them motor support, HPI or OS. It doesn't matter. All small block engine spacing is the same. Yeah, so you basically need these to install anything from SH, any OS, even a Pro 15 if you wanted to. You could even put in a 2.5. But yeah, these are $40 or plus whatever, tax and shipping. It'll be like 50. That's what you need. The reason is, well, let me show you the engine itself so we understand the mechanics of it. Because people think you could just put anything in you want. It's not that easy. So the old style engines, right? They have integrated screws for the engine mount right in the block. So meaning these are not adjustable. But you also have the regular engine mounts like all small block engines on the side. So those HPI engine mounts would be screwed over here. That way, it would sit flat on the chassis and you could move it for gear mesh adjustment. That's essentially the logic. For those of us maybe that think, swapping is like a piece of cake, you need the correct engine mounts. Yeah, Northeast Mods, yeah, that's what you need, bro. Without that, you can't put in anything. Other than the T3.0 engine. You could put in a T3.0 though. But, once again, the T3.0 has a bigger carb. It's a whole thing. It's doable, though. I've done it several times. Don't get me wrong. It's doable. But, all right. Let me continue with this. So what I'm going to do, guys, this engine is probably toast. But I think we should probably still check it out. What do you think? You want me to continue with the disassembly or what? It needs to be completely cleaned and sealed. So I'm going to disassemble everything anyway. I'm not worried about getting dirt inside. I'm going to take it apart piece by piece. Let me know. Do we get any votes for full disassembly or not? All right, Satan's Rage. How you doing, man? Creative username. Funny you say that. I was just watching a movie on YouTube right before the stream about, well, it was a biblical movie. Let me look it up what it was, actually. I'm curious myself. I forgot what it was about. Let me go to my history, and we'll see what it was about. It was called, well, we have some cat shows for Sandy, of course. You can't can't live without those. The Final Conflict from 1981. The Final Conflict. It says, the Antichrist Damien is back, and he's grown up, and now seeking world domination. That's what it was about. As long as Damien resurrects a Nitro, I'll be okay, you know what I'm saying? Alright guys, let's continue. So we're gonna start disassembling the engine. It needs to be cleaned anyway. I think we're gonna start with the head. What do you all think? Normally either the head or the pull starter is a good idea. CLZ John, what's up going on, bro? By the way, if I can unscrew this, do you guys want to see the inside of this pipe? This has a real creative interior design. If I can unscrew it. I'm not sure if I can. Sometimes it has to be heated up a lot. If it's unscrewable, that is. 1, 2, 3. Screw, baby, screw. Ah, can't unscrew it. Okay. This thing is about to puncture my hand. All this has to be cleaned anyway. Right, let me see if I can unscrew. So this is a two-piece design over here. It's supposed to come apart, but sometimes it's difficult. You got to have, like, you know, towels or whatever to do it. Like some good grip. You got to have grip, baby grip, as Trump says. No varicose veins, though. All right, grip, baby grip. Can't do it. I can't do it. By the way, I'm a little weak right now because of my back issue, so I can't do it. All right, whatever. If I get to it, I'll do it later. Can't do it because my back hurts, all right? I know Boosted RC could rip that thing apart. But I can't apply too much pressure right now. I got back issues, you know, pinched nerve issues. It's pretty bad. All right, bros, let's continue. I think the next part, we got to remove the header. Yeah, I'm going to take the header. All right, let's do header. I hope those bolts are not stripped. They look real bad. Those bolts look real bad. All right, let's see what we got, guys. The bolts. The left one looks real bad. I'm going to have to cut a slot in that. I'm surprised we got it. I am surprised it unscrewed. All right, next. The other header. Bolt. We got 00 and 2 number signs in here. I just bought a brand new T-Max, and it is sickening, he says. Well, bro, I think myself in the chat, we are very happy to hear you say that, bro. We are very happy. All right, let me continue with this, guys. I appreciate you watching. No, I could do this by myself, but I got back pain, so I'm using this to distract myself from, you know, worldwide pain problems. All right, so far so good. Yeah, you gotta be real careful with these header screws. Obviously, you could tell they're very, very long. It's not impossible to find, but it's a good idea to not mess them up. Jonathan Barnett, bro, no, thank you for being a viewer. You guys don't have to thank me, you know what I'm saying? But you do have to watch and give it a thumbs up, of course. Kidding around. All right. So, first thing I see, what does everybody notice? There is no gasket. So, good thing that I'm taking it apart anyway. Somebody forgot a gasket. No wonder the entire engine is filthy. Bro, how people do stuff like this? Like, a gasket is real and expensive. Could have at least used silicone. Like, this is a way to kill a Nitro. Because I could already, guys, I could already guarantee to compensate this guy ran it lean, probably killed it. Because that's usually what happens. To compensate, right? You don't want to compensate. All right, so the good news is, as I look inside, the piston is not at the top. It's, you know, it's a little higher than middle. Yeah, Nitro goes, somebody slapped it together to sell it. That's what it appears to be like. But, you know, there's always a risk and a gamble involved. What are you going to do? It is what it is. Carb is not seized. I'm probably not going to take the carb off. You guys want to know why? Because these old style carbs use 2 screws. It's actually a big irritant to remove this screw and the other screw. I'm just going to leave it. All right, next up, let's do... I'm thinking... Let's do the back plate, then I'll do the head. We already know the piston is not at the bottom, so it's fine. Or the top. Oh, I don't have that driver, do I? Yeah, no, I have it. I didn't bring every driver I could. Rory, what's up, man? Happy to see you here. All right, here we go. It's missing at least one of the screws, but it's no big deal. Holding it together, guys. Holding it together. All right, came out smooth. Screws look not stripped. Pull starter appears to be in good shape. Let me just pull it. All right, it appears spring is fine. What's up there, Wonder Bread Man? Happy to see you. I'm just disassembling a Super Nitro over here. You know, trying to get super tonight. All right, pull starter seems to be in good shape. Not much use. That's a welcome surprise. All right, bros. Next up, I think I'm gonna do the back plate. So this entire block, I'm gonna try to clean it if I can, in terms of back paint, of course. You know, I'm basically not even going outside right now. I was invited last week to a freaking swap meet. Couldn't even go. And Ronkonkoma, I think that's how you call it. Let me see. Northeast Mods, let me read your comment, what you said. Let me scroll up. Man, I can't tell. Hold on a second. Oh, I just saw a comment from Canon Stuff, bro. How you doing? Let me read it. Sorry, I missed it. I wasn't looking. Don't see your comment from... Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Northeast Mods, let me read your comment. If you end up needing the engine mounts, hit me up. All right, bro. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I appreciate that. We got longtime channel viewer Canon Stuff over here. Goes, on my way to New York in 8 hours. Be there Sunday morning. Well, bro, which part you going to? I remember you told me, but you're going more upstate. So the thing is, I'm not really going outside right now. I, you know, pretty much injured my back real bad by picking up an electric. So I'm never touching that again, ever. Let's begin undoing the back plate. I think I'm gonna heat it up a little bit. I don't trust those screws. These screws are pretty important. Yeah, that should be enough. I'm not doing too much, just like a tad, you know. What's up there, Lotus? How you doing, bro? I'm, you know, just battling a Super Nitro out here, you know. That's what's going down. All right, got this one. Got this one. Got that one. Got that one. We got a good question here from Angel. He goes, how many gallons does the 3.3 normally last? You know, people over the years, some people have ran like up to 10 gallons in those engines. And then some people have ran one tank. For me personally, what the hell is this? There's some kind of piece of metal sticking out here. Well, it looks like this guy stripped this part of the back plate over here. That's not good. Let me try to came out pretty good with the heat. All right, you guys ready to see the inside? I even put the LED light on, bro. LED light, are you ready? Never before seen, not even by me. You know what? If it has compression, this is going to be a runner. So yes, these have brass connecting rods. Not the best material because it's, you know, softer than aluminum. But yeah, that's what they got. The biggest issue with these, you guys want to know, who here wants to take a guess what the biggest issue is? Yeah, it's a cleaner. It's like Mr. Clean inside, bro. Who here wants to take a guess what the biggest issue with restoring one of these is? I'll give you guys a minute or two here in the chat. And I'm holding it in my hand. Nitro Pimp goes ABN construction. That is also a good comment. I'm going to go with Big Boy's Toys on this one, though. The paper gasket. So once you go wash this, you know, you put any kind of abrasive material on it or anything, the paper gasket is gone. The main issue, you need that paper gasket. I mean, you could put silicone, don't get me wrong. You know, you could easily just silicone that, but nothing beats the correct backplate gasket. You know, too bad there's no O-rings for this particular one. Well, you know, like engineered into the backplate, but basically that's what you need. But, you know, you were not incorrect, Nitro Pimp, as well. ABN construction is an issue, but that's an issue in this portion. All right, let's get down to the head. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to remove the clutch parts first. Yeah, Lotus RC goes, you can make one out of cardstock. That, too, is a possibility. Let me remove the clutch parts because I could see whoever assembled this. That is some incorrect-looking shimming over there. That is shimming from hell. And it still moves a ton. Not only did this person shim incorrectly, it's crooked, and it still moves a ton. So all this is going to have to be looked at. Let me just remove this if I can. All right, that was easy. Oh, I already see the issue. Yeah, it's pretty not good. All right, I already see the issue. The clutch nut has unscrewed with, well, the roller needle bearings, it appears. Wonder Bread, congratulations, man. Trinity touring car, we love those around here. So this is the clutch, sometimes called the pilot nut. It's not supposed to be that tight, so I can undo it. Yeah, so this wouldn't have, you know, good thing I decided to disassemble this. This would have been a problem. All right. All right, I got it. All right. The thing is, the clutch nut is responsible for holding the springs of the clutch. Without that, you basically got nothing. I'm gonna clean all this later anyway, because you know it's dirty up in here. All right. All right, here we go. So it looks like we still have the needle bearing on the inside. I'm gonna likely upgrade that to a proper bearing, not a needle bearing. I have to buy some more right now. Yeah, this is a needle bearing. Pretty much the same as the Kyosho USA ones use. We got one bearing though, actually, on the inside. So it looks like they just ran out of cashola. Because there is one bearing. This is the pilot nut, or sometimes called the clutch nut. And without that, right, the springs, the cogs have nowhere to sit. So this has to be reset, basically. I'll redo it. But the clutch itself looks to be normal. You know, once I fix it, it'll be fixed. I'm gonna remove everything. I mean, the parts are there. The important thing is the parts are here. You guys get it? The important thing is the parts are there. These look like buggy clutch shoes, actually. But whatever. All right, I'm gonna tighten this up later. Actually, you know what? Nah. I'm gonna remove it all right now, baby. Okay. Here's a flywheel. Yeah, so these are old style flywheels. They still use a collet on the inside, by the way. But it appears to be still a slotted crankshaft. But when there's enough pressure, it really don't matter. It goes on, it still works. That's basically what you wanted to do. All good. All right. So we're up to the engine. Time to take the head off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, obviously examine this entire engine. There's some hurdles. This is vintage level stuff, guys. That's how it works out here. Yeah, Lotus goes, those have been drummeled. That is true. Let's hope they come out, man. I'm gonna use this screwdriver. All right, this one is out. I guess the heat from before really helped the screws a little bit. This one's out. All right, next one, I'm gonna apply a good amount of pressure. All right, got this one. What's up there, Shane? How you doing, my dude? Oh yeah, this is Super Nitro right here, man. But notice the wheels in the back. Well, it's hard to see, but they're basically, these chassis could either have 280 or 300 millimeter wheelbase. So this one is set up to be 280, and the back one is set up to be 300. So it's actually lopsided. Check this out. If I lift it like this, look at the way the wheels are. This is forward. This is backward. Sickening. James, how you doing, man? But it's fixable, man. It's fixable. To get back to the engine. Max settings, how you doing, man? Yeah, too hot in Texas to be breaking it. I mean, for the Nitro, it'll be okay, but for you, man, you're going to be sweating out there. You're going to have to drink some electrolytes. Like me. All right. Got the head off almost. Oh, man, back's starting to hurt. I got to take some more pills. Oh, yeah, Shane, bro. Yeah, so Super Nitros, for those of us that didn't know, they are made to run two different lengths of bodies, wheelbase-wise. You could have the rear wheel closer or further back. Most run 280, but if you want like a wider, longer wheelbase, all you do is you flip the rear suspension arms upside down, and you get 300 millimeters. And this one literally has it. That's why it looks like that. Let's take this off. Take a look inside. All right. I mean, it looks clean. Piston is not at the top. You know, I think once I clean it, I think it'll be almost sickening. Almost. We'll see. These 15FE engines, I'll be honest with you guys, like they have like an 80% not good rate. So chances are it's 80% not good. We could even take a vote on it, maybe. Yeah, max settings O's hybrid. I miss living in New York. I miss the change of seasons. So honestly, dude, like 2 days ago it was like 95 degrees, and now it's 68 out here. It's a real change of season, man. BMR goes, I was expecting some 4-stroke action. No, man, I'm going to save that for a special occasion when I'm in a little bit of a peppier mood, you know. Can't really move around too much. I'm just kind of sitting in a chair due to back pain issue. Wonderbird wants to know, have I ever used Chem Dip to clean the engines? No, I am not sure what that is. Bro, I go with a simple toothpaste and, I'm sorry, toothbrush and dish soap. For me, toothbrush, dish soap works real good. Let's remove the filter. So all this on this will be cleaned. Carb is actually pretty clean inside. No dirt inside, really, but I'm going to clean all of it fully. Crank, from what I could tell, does not appear to be rusted. Yeah, guys, I have never purchased an ultrasonic cleaner. I should have. I just noticed something not too good. This tells me a little bit about the ownership habits of the prior owner, guys. The idle gap. If I close the carb, the idle gap is massive. That is maybe 50% more idle gap than it needs to be. That tells me the guy probably did not know how to tune well. That is not good. Do you want me to count right now how many turns out the high-speed needle is? I mean, I'm willing to try it if you want. It's a good indicator of whether the engine will be toast. I'm going to suspect it's going to be toast. But we'll count. Let me clean it a little bit and I'll do some counting. Anybody hear my neighbors outside the window? Think we're getting ready to have a pig roast. All right, let's see where we're at. So we got a high-speed needle. It's currently pointing up. I'm gonna just turn it and see where it stops. It should be about 3.5 to 4.5 turns out. Let's see. Yeah, the idle gap is real high, so that means this guy ran it probably lean. Let's see. Half. We're looking at this graduation right there. Half. 1. 1.5. 2. 2.5. Oh man, it's not even 3. It's 2 3/4 about. Man, this guy ran this at 2 3/4 of the high-speed needle. That is nasty. I am nastified right now. Upset, nastified, dismayed, full of disbelief. Like I said, guys, NitroGang is usually correct on our assumptions. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just randomly turn it back out. Let's see. I'm going to start from here as if it's closed, open, closed right here. I'm going to do half a turn, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. I'm going to do 3.5 turns out. And that'll be my starting point later on. Yeah, John Hensley wants to know, is there a common setting for most jets on our carbs? Generally, 3.5 to 4 turns out will get you to flow fuel. Yeah, BMR goes, I start at 3.5. 3.5 to 4 turns out is a very good starting point. Now, keep in mind, there's other factors, right? That's assuming your idle gap is good. This one, as you see, is freaking massive. So what we can do is turn it out a little bit, but I'm going to clean it later anyway. All right, I turned it out a little bit. It's still a little high. So these engines actually with low compression, what people do is they turn the idle real high. That's a little more normal for this engine, like maybe something like that. But these aren't like, you know, modern big block engines where, you know, tiny idle gap is fine. Big Boys Toys, you are correct. These particular carbs, you don't need needles. You just use your fingers. So you have to count turns, basically. There's no other way to do this on these engines. But the logic, my logic is, as long as you get fuel to flow, you know, as long as you fire it up a little bit, you start tuning from that position. Around 3.5 to 4 turns, and all the other needles, let's say, are at least 80% within range, you're not going to have an issue. You guys agree with what I'm saying? Lotus RC, the guys in here, that is good, solid logic. Obviously, it still is going to need a lot of tuning, you know? But that's it. I'm going to wash this. The carb gasket looks okay. I think this is going to be a runner. I mean, it might not be a good runner, but that's about it. We're going to wash this in a sink. I want to try to seal it up. You guys let me know. What do you think? Depending on how I feel tomorrow. Should I rebuild it tomorrow? By the way, I've come across something interesting. Hold on a second. Let me put the engine screws back in. I'm not sure. This project does not seem to have much interest. Josh Crow, how you doing, my dude? Let me read your comment here, man. He goes, is it possible for the high-speed needle to loosen while the RC is running? Yes, it is totally possible, especially if the O-ring that's on the needle, there's rubber O-rings if they're bad. Yes, the high-speed needle could turn out, but you know, you should be able to feel resistance on it. I do want to show you all. Oh, these mods, correct. Yes, if your O-rings are dried out, it will move. Exactly. Correct. Correct. Dolo Brolik, what's up, bro? Super Nitro Gang is right here. I want to show you all something I found in, well, regarding a Super Nitro, okay? So this is the 100-mile-per-hour Nitro RS4. Ray Coral, bro, thank you for that. I appreciate it, man. Big ups to you, as people say today on Gordon Ramsay's channel. Big ups. I'm still not sure what that means, but I know we love Nitro on this channel. I appreciate it. I found this old article, and it's from 2017. It's not the complete article. I know some people out there might even have this magazine. If you want to go look it up, it's from October 2017 RC Car Action. Now, even though I'm a subscriber to RC Car Action, they won't let me look at it. You believe that crapola? It's serious crapola, bros. But let's take a little quickie. I don't even know if I can honestly zoom into this. Well, let me check if I can or can't. Hold on a second. Nah, you can't even zoom in. You can't manipulate the page. All right, Big Boys Toys has this, so you might be able to check it out because I'm pretty sure parts of this are cut off. But let's take a look at it. So it's a 100 mile per hour RS4, and I can't really. There's no scroll down or up. It just goes to the right. So this was the cover to the magazine right there. If you guys want, I could read a little bit of it. Can't really zoom in on it anymore, though, it seems. That's basically what it is. Let's see. With Nitro, I'm reading this portion. With Nitro race cars already reaching 70, burning fuel all the way to 100 seems doable. The Super Nitro RS4 based rig was built for Nitro magazine and used a high-revving on-road engine, custom pulleys, and a speed-optimized suspension setup to achieve 101.7. Sickening. 101.7, baby. That's a lot of sevens. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm going to try to give you all a little bit of a zoom in, like, manually here. A .21 on-road engine was used to get the job done. It revs much higher than the 21 off-road engine, and it produced plenty of horsepower to get the fairly light Super Nitro RS4 up to speed. The block of the engine was machined down slightly to make room. What the hell does that mean? The block of the machine? So I guess they machined the bottom of the block? Yeah, I'm going to read this portion right here. I'm going to put it down. You guys could see it, okay? By the way, you see these option parts? Schneller, that's Wolfpack Radicals. We have a member of the NitroGang who's a channel member whose dad designed these. Big shout out to him. We got custom-made pulleys, clutch bell, and spur gear were needed to raise Super RS4's overall gear ratio. Yeah, so they're running a single speed, it looks like. It's a one speed is all you need, baby. On the top over here, we got a better picture. A stiff suspension kept the car planted to the ground. The shocks were filled with thick 100-weight oil and were wrapped with 40-pound springs in the front and 35 in the back. Well, they made a speed beast, baby. Speed beast. Extra sickening. Extra sickening. Yeah, big block Super Nitro with a single speed. I mean, this would have been, as close to the 8th scale as you could have gotten, really. I wonder why they didn't just go like with a OFNA Ultra GTP. That would have been a better choice. But this is a lighter car. OFNA Ultra GTP is a buggy essentially. Well, it's a road car, but it's essentially a buggy. So guys, that's what that chassis is capable of. It's capable of 100+ mile per hour. Well, it's not exactly 1-to-1 gear ratio, Big Boys Toys, but it looks very, very close to like 1-to-2 maybe. I mean, that's a giant pinion. If anybody has this article, you could look it up. I don't have that particular year magazine though, But thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. This is one of those projects that has a bit of way to go, but that's the beginning. And if you didn't already know, the modern RC Car Action magazine is completely pink. It is Barbie pink. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Left wins. Right? We don't drive the Barbie Jeep or the Barbie fake Corvette. Okay? We don't do that. If you guys want, I could take a quickie at the new RC Car Action magazine, but it's not going to be interesting at all. You're probably going to leave. All right, my dudes, I'm probably going to save it for later. My back pain's starting to kick in. Not feeling too good right now. I did what I can for tonight. I'm going to say peace to you all out there. Stay true, stay honest, stay healthy, and stay ethical while making Nitro great again. I have a lot of work to do. I might do this some today, maybe some tomorrow. I don't even know if I can. I can't stand at the sink for like over maybe a couple minutes, to be honest with you. It's real bad. Got a pinched nerve in the most possible worst position. But this one, I think, can be resurrected. I'm going to stay here for about 2 to 3 more minutes. Let you guys say your hellos, say your goodbyes. And then we'll move on with our life. Northeast Mods, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Wonder Bread Man. Tomorrow will be a release of a new video. Now, for the time being, I'm going to have to do most of my videos that are a little different because I can't really go outside that much right now. It's pretty bad. So I hope you guys check it out. Give it a like, you know. I never started out YouTube thinking I'm going to be a superstar, but, you know, maybe a person that at least motivates people in the direction that we want. I'd be happy with that. And with that, my dudes, we will chat next time. Goodbye.